Welcome to Middle Math Academy Order of Operations level number 4. This is part of our Order of Operations differentiated series where we have 5 levels of challenge. Let's get started. Our learning target today is I can use the order of operations to evaluate expressions. Go ahead and take a minute to rate yourself on how confident you feel with this learning target, 1 being the least confident and 5 being the most confident. At the end of the lesson, we'll come back and you'll rate yourself again after the lesson. Let's take a look at our warm-up. If exponents are unfamiliar to you, I highly recommend going back to level number 1 where we practice exponents the whole video. But let's just get a little bit of practice in here. If I have 8 to the second power, the way I say that out loud is 8 squared. And what that means is 8 times 8. It does not mean 8 times 2. That is the biggest mistake I see. So 8 squared is equal to 64. Whatever your big number is, that's what you're multiplying over and over again, your base, and then your exponent tells you how many times to multiply it. Pause the video and complete B, C, D, and E on your own, then come back to the video. Let's go ahead and check our work. For B, you should have gotten 8, C, 125, and D, 36. Check your work, fix any errors. For problem E, it says, Kayla said that 8 cubed equals 24. Is she correct or incorrect? So remember, cubed is always to the third power. But 8 cubed, or 8 to the third power, does not mean 8 times 3. That's the biggest mistake I see. It means 8 times 8 times 8, which equals 512. If you don't have this down, go ahead and make sure you do. Pause the video, and then let's get started on our notes. Before we start on our notes, remember, this video is not going to go over every single problem. Make sure to write down what I'm writing and pay special attention to the examples. That way, when you're independently practicing, you feel confident. Let's take a look at our notes. The order of operations helps us ensure we get the same answer every time by solving problems in a specific order. In the specific order we're going to solve them, one way to remember it is, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. The P stands for parentheses, make sure you're writing this, which is our most powerful operation. We're always going to start by looking for parentheses. Our next most powerful operation is exponents, and we can write a little tiny 4 to remember that that's what an exponent looks like. Our third most powerful operation is multiplication and division, okay? Multiplication and division are equally powerful. If they were superheroes and were versing each other, it would be a tie. So the way you figure out which one to do is whichever is first, from left to right. And we'll practice that in just a second. And then our least most powerful operation is addition and subtraction. They are also tied, okay? So once again, we'll do whichever one comes first, left to right. Pause the video if you need more time. So in these examples here, we're not solving anything. We're just practicing underlining the most powerful operation, or our first step. So I can see in this first one, you can kind of think of this as a checklist. Okay, we always start by looking for parentheses. Is there parentheses in this first problem? Yes, there is. So I'm going to underline the parentheses 18 minus 5. That is our most powerful operation. Let's do the next one. Is there parentheses in this problem? No, there's not. Let's go down the list. What about exponents? Nope, there's no exponents there. Is there multiplication or division? Oh, well, I see division and multiplication in this one. So I need to ask myself, which comes first? Because they're equally powerful. Well, we can read it out loud to help us. 14 divided by 2 times 24. Did I say division or multiplication first? I said division. Division came first, so that is the most powerful. And then in this third example, once again, no parentheses, no exponents. We do have multiplication and division, but in this example, multiplication came first. Pause the video and complete these three. Just underline what's the most powerful operation. Once you're done, come back to the video. So in this example, we don't have any parentheses, but we do have exponents. So you should have underlined just 4 squared. That is a step in itself, solving 4 times 4. In this second example, you should have underlined our parentheses, our most powerful operation. And then in our third example, we have multiplication. Remember, the dot means multiply. Let's do a few examples. Let's take a look at example A. When doing the order of operations, it's always a good practice to write PEMDAS for parentheses. Make sure you're writing with me. Exponents, we're going to write that underneath the P since parentheses are the most powerful. Then this is important. You're going to write the M and D for multiplication and division next to each other because they're equally powerful. Same thing for addition and subtraction. Let's go ahead and just write PEMDAS for every problem. And remember, you can always pause the video if you need more time. All right, now let's head back to example A. I'm going to use PEMDAS as a checklist, starting at the top. P stands for parentheses. Do you see any parentheses? Oh, yep, we have 30 minus 4. So what I'm going to do is underline. This is important. Write your answer underneath. And then you are neatly going to bring down everything that you did not underline right beneath where it's written. So I didn't underline this plus, so I'm going to bring that down right underneath. Bring down the 36 and bring down the divided by 4. So it's so important to stay organized with this. I can't emphasize that enough. Now this row is our new problem. 26 plus 36 divided by 4. All right, so I know division is more powerful than addition. So I'm going to underline 36 divided by 4. Write my answer underneath, 9. And then I'm going to bring down the plus, bring down the 26. And now our new problem is 26 plus 9. It's our last step. And 26 plus 9 is 35. Go ahead and pause the video and complete example B on your own. All right, for example B, our first step is to underline parentheses. 2 times 3 is 6. Check to make sure, did you neatly bring down everything right beneath where it's written? You should have 24 divided by 3 minus 6 in your second row. Then ask yourself, what's more powerful, division or subtraction? Division is above subtraction, so I'll underline 24 divided by 3. Then I bring down the minus, bring down the 6. And 8 minus 6 is 2. If you didn't get that one correct, go ahead and fix any errors or even rewatch how I did that problem. Let's take a look at D, and then I'll have you do C on your own. So now we have some exponents. So in example D, I can see that we do have parentheses, so I'll always start there. 40 times 10 is 400. Bring everything down super neat. Make sure when you write your exponent, it's 7 squared or 7 to the second power. You don't want it to look like 72. I see students make that mistake a lot. So now our new problem is 400 minus 7 squared plus 9. We don't have any more parentheses, but we do have exponents. So I'm going to underline just 7 squared. Remember, 7 squared, that means 7 times 7. It does not mean 7 times 2. 7 times 7 is 49. Bring down the 400 right beneath where it's written, minus. So now I have subtraction and addition. Subtraction comes first. 400 minus 49 is 351. I'll bring down the plus 9. And my final answer is 360. Pause the video if you need more time. Complete example C, then come back to the video to check your work. Go ahead and pause, check your work for example C. Once you have that down, go ahead and flip to page 2. Let's take a look at page 2. Pause the video, complete page 2, problems A through D, then come back to the video to check your work. Pause the video, check your work for problems A and B. And pause the video, check your work for problems C and D. Now you're going to pause the video, complete the rest of page 2 and page 3. Come back to the video when you're ready for page 4. Let's take a look at page 4. Put your finger where it says problem C. Problem C is a little bit different because we have 2 operations within the parentheses. But we're going to approach this problem the same way we would approach any problem, starting by writing PEMDAS. Make sure to write the M and D next to each other and A and S next to each other since they're equally powerful. I know parentheses are our most powerful operation. So when I look at my parentheses, I'm going to ask myself, what's more powerful within the parentheses, exponents or subtraction? I know exponents are more powerful, so I'm going to underline only 2 to the 5th. And remember, 2 to the 5th does not mean 2 times 5. It means 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which is 32. So I'm going to neatly write 32 underneath. And then, this is important, I'm going to keep the 32 and the minus 2 in the parentheses. You keep it in the parentheses until you just have one number left. So I'm going to neatly bring down everything else. So now I'll continue to solve the parentheses. 32 minus 2 is 30. Multiplication is more powerful than addition. Notice how I'm keeping everything super lined up and neat. And then 30 plus 49 is 79. Pause the video if you need more time. Then you're going to pause the video, complete page 4, problem G only. Once you finish problem G, come back to the video to check your work. Pause the video, check your work for problem G. All right, so now go ahead and pause the video, complete the rest of page 4 and page 5. Come back to the video when you're ready for page 6. All right, last but not least, page 6. Pause the video, complete all of page 6. Make sure to come back to the video when you finish. We are going to check 1 or 2 problems and then do one last thing. We're not going to go over every problem on page 6, but I do want to take a look at our closing problems in the middle of the page. Before we check the full thing, I want to check just what you underlined first in this problem. You should have underlined 4 cubed first. And remember, this does not mean 4 times 3. 4 cubed means 4 times 4 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16, times 4 is 64. So when you're checking your work, make sure that you have 64, but I also want you to check that you kept the -5 in parentheses. So this is what your second row should look like. Let's check our first step in this problem as well. Exponents are more powerful than addition. This does not mean 2 times 3. So if you had 6, that's wrong. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. So you should have 8 and then kept everything in parentheses. And so that should be your first step in this problem. So I'm not going to go over the rest of this, but what I want you to do is flip back to page number 1. So at the beginning of this lesson, we rated ourselves 1 through 5 and how confident we felt with our learning target. Now that we've gotten some more practice, I want you to rate yourself again. 1 is the least amount of confidence, 5 is the most confidence. Thank you for joining us today at Middle Math Academy Order of Operations level number 4. This is part of our Order of Operations differentiated series. If you're looking for any additional practice, make sure to check out level number 5, our most challenging level, or levels 1, 2, and 3. Have a wonderful day.